YouTube, so today I have a thrift store oriented video for you guys. I'm going to be doing two parts to this video. The first part being more basic information that I think everybody should know about thrift stores, consignment stores, and vintage stores. And the second one being my advice for shopping at these types of stores. So, the big nerd I am, I made up note sets for both of these videos just to make sure that I hit everything that I want to talk about. So you guys don't lose out and you guys know everything. I'm able to share my knowledge with you guys. So with that said, I have a lot to talk about and I want to get started. First of all, you might ask, what is a thrift store? A thrift store is a place where people donate their unwanted or unneeded clothing or shoes, or sometimes on things that other people don't buy, like underwear, to a charity or a store, and they just give them away, and that store sells them for a lot less than the person initially bought them for. So, with that said, a consignment store is where somebody brings their clothes that they want to sell through that store. So, if I have a big bag of clothes that I know can be worth something, I bring it to a consignment store and I sign a piece of paper that says I'm willing to sell them through your store. You can make 50% of the profit and I'll make the other 50%. Or some kind of ratio like that. So my clothes are sold in that store, and when they're bought, I get paid. If they're not bought, if somebody doesn't buy them, then I don't get paid. Do you get what I'm saying? So I can only make a profit if my garment is bought, and I only get 50% or some ratio of what it's sold for. So just be careful that you know what type of store you're going into before you go into it, because you may be paying more than maybe you want to pay for. With that said, at consignment stores you can usually find brand names easier because they do filter out certain things. You can find, I don't know, I know of two types of different consignment stores. One consignment store just takes it based on the label on the garment or shoes or whatever, and other thrift stores buy them, such as Plato's Closet, they buy them based on the style and if it's popular at that season, or you know, like how well, I don't know, how well the shirt was taken care of or something like that, like how good of quality the shirt is as opposed to the brand. So it may be a shirt from Walmart, but if it's in style and if it's in good shape, they'll take it and turn down that BB shirt that has a big hole in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely make sure you know what type of consignment store you're going to. And vintage stores, I personally don't know much about, but make sure you know you're going into a vintage store if that's your purpose, because if you go into a vintage store thinking that it's a consignment store or even a thrift store, you're going to be shocked because the prices are just going to be outrageous, because vintage is very different than than things you can find at a thrift store or consignment store. With that said, you can find vintage things at thrift stores, and you can find vintage like brand names at thrift stores, but you have to look a lot longer. You are going to have to rummage through everything and find it for yourself rather than things being filtered. And usually at consignment stores they have like a Coach section over here, and you know, so on and so forth. You're gonna have to look longer at a thrift store. A couple warnings about thrift stores. It's not as glamorous as people may make it sound. So if you're going in there expecting it to be like Savers Haven in there and just cheap prices in a nice clean store, well, you're wrong. Some of them can be clean, like bigger names like Goodwill are usually on the tidier side, and so are Savers. But when you come to like local thrift stores, sometimes they're not always as clean. Usually they smell like mothballs, and it's kind of dusty. It's part of the territory. You just gotta kind of embrace it and understand that that's what it's like in a thrift store, and even in some consignment stores that's what it's like. So just bring a bottle of hand sanitizer and you're all good. Some warnings. Make sure you use the bathroom before you leave home. This is always my problem. I always drink a ton of water before I happen to go to the thrift store, not on purpose obviously, and I always have to go to the bathroom while I'm in a thrift store or a consignment store or whatever, and they never have bathrooms, never. And even if they do, I don't know that you'd want to use their bathroom unless you were about to use the bathroom on yourself, you know, like if it was an emergency. So make sure that you use the bathroom before you leave your house. I think that's the biggest tip that I can tell you in this video, is use the bathroom before you leave the house. And hopefully by telling you guys, I imprint that in my memory, because I always have to use the bathroom when I go to thrift stores. And it's not, I don't know, it just ruins the whole thing, because you travel 20 minutes to this thrift store and you get there and you have to use the bathroom, so you're there for maybe like 10 minutes and it stinks. It really does. So finding thrift stores, finding thrift stores, you could just go on Yelp.com or Yellow Pages and type in thrift stores, consignment stores, vintage stores, whatever you want to go to, and it should bring up a whole list of things in your area. Some bigger names, I don't know if I already mentioned these, are Goodwill, Savers, Salvation Army, Boomerang, and I don't know if it's just in New England, but St. Vincent de Paul. So look for those. Also look at smaller thrift stores in your area that maybe are just local to your area, because those are usually the cheapest, because I don't know, they just usually are. You can usually walk out with a blouse for 99 cents, which is crazy. So look for those smaller ones. Not every trip is a good trip. You just gotta know that sometimes you find a lot of things and sometimes you don't find anything at all. So don't go in kind of expecting to find a ton of things every time. And give your thrift store, like after you've visited it, give your thrift store a couple of weeks to kind of replenish everything, because if you go in like every day expecting to find something, or every 2 days trying to find something, you're not going to, because everything you saw the last time you were there is still there, because they haven't had a chance to restock their shelves. So give maybe rotate. Maybe you find 3 thrift stores that you like, and maybe go just rotate through them, so that way when you get to each one of them, they have new things for you to sort through. It can be addicting, and I said this, yes, this is tacky and cheesy or whatever, but it can be addicting, because once you find something for $3 that maybe is selling at your local H&M or Forever 21 for $15, you just realize how overpriced department stores or bigger name stores can be, and you don't want to go back to them. I can't remember, I think the last thing I bought from a bigger store were my sandals that I wear, and I bought those on sale for $12. I can't remember anything else that in the past that I've bought for full price at a retail store. So it's a good thing for your wallet, but just make sure you're not overdoing it with thrift stores, and only buy things that you know you really, really like, because although it is cheap and you'll say, oh, I'll find some way to wear this, or it looks cute if you close one eye and turn around, don't buy it, because if it doesn't look nice on you, then what's the whole purpose of buying it? Yes, it's cheap, but that's $3 you maybe didn't have to spend. So only buy things that you really like. And thrift stores are usually huge because they have so many things donated to them. So usually the best thing to do is make a day out of it. Maybe take a Saturday and get a couple of girlfriends and just go thrift shopping and enjoy it. If you're not a patient shopper, maybe this isn't for you, because they, as I said, they're huge, and if you get bored really easily with shopping, then maybe you won't like it. But thrift stores usually close early, so that's why it's hard to go on the weekdays, because they usually close around like 5 or 6 o'clock, and after practice or after work you don't really have time to go to the thrift store and enjoy it. So make a day out of it. It'll be fun. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. I'm sorry if it was a little bit more rambly than I planned or you wanted to hear, but that's kind of all the basic stuff I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm gonna go ahead and film a video right now, the second half of this video. So if you guys want to see that, as soon as that's up, I'll link it down in the bottom bar, or I'll put it somewhere around here. But stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!